National Treasury says our country is headed to being greylisted by the International Financial Action Task Force. It's an intergovernmental policy-making body that combats all forms of money laundering and the financing of terrorism and crime. The implications of a greylisting are sort of comparable to a ratings downgrade, especially if it appears that we're not trying to address the problems. We're joined now by the National Treasury's Acting Director General, Ismail Momoniat. Mr. Momoniat, good evening to you and thank you for your time. How important is this? Why would we be greylisted if we don't do the right thing?
Hi, evening, Stephen. Sorry, I've got some load shedding, so just bear with me. Look, the greylisting is something which we must avoid. It indicates that it's a peer review done by this international organization to which we are a member, FATF, and being greylisted would mean that not just that our standards are below par, but that the body feels that we're not committed to to improve our anti-money laundering capability quickly enough. So it's a significant thing. It will impact on, investors, on how other banks overseas would deal with our banks and so on.
This is all about how we make sure that people don't use our financial systems to launder money. How difficult is it to actually comply with the demands of the Financial Action Task Force?
So look, this is a growing challenge internationally, and there's 39 countries that are members of FATF, and all of them go through this mutual review, and you find that they also have challenges. FATF does give you a chance to improve your standards, and we're already in process to do so. The easy bit is to change legislation and so on, but the difficulty is more in the area of effectiveness. And we did badly on all 11 effectiveness measures, and some of them, or a lot of them, relate to the criminal justice sector, and to what extent we have successful prosecutions or even investigations when clearly we suspect money laundering.
Do you believe we'll be able to actually pass the changes we need to pass? I mean, legislation, I presume. Will we be able to pass them in time? Is it difficult to do?
No, I'm less worried about the legislation. I mean, we went through this in 2016 when we had to improve our laws at that time. The FATF standards tend to improve over time, and they get tougher and tougher. So you've got to continually change your laws. And I'm pretty confident that by the end of the year, we'll have all the necessary legislation in place. The difficulty, as I said, is on the effectiveness measures. It's how we implement those laws and whether we actually act against criminal syndicates, whether we have the capability and the political will to deal with financial crimes, particularly when they're committed by highly connected political persons.
I mean, we come from an era of state capture. We know how important it was for people to be able to move money out of our country, how it went around the world very, very quickly. I mean, it seems to me there may be a lesson there for us in how to make sure that we're not such easy targets again.
Absolutely, and I think we have, unfortunately, recent history to go by to identify the problems. And that's why I say that trying to meet these FATF standards is actually first and foremost in our own interest, to prevent the theft of our own resources. And of course, those thefts and these types of thefts around corruption and so on are always linked to a highly connected political person who's behind it or protecting those who are doing it. And certainly, I think many of our institutions were deliberately weakened so that they could not stop such crimes from taking place. We are on a course to correct and strengthen our institutions, but the issue is, are we doing it fast enough? I think just given the many syndicates that are already operating.
Ismail Momoniat, thank you very much indeed. Acting Director General in the National Treasury.